Hi everyone, welcome back to What Guinea Reads, which comes every Tuesday with Paulomi. Hi Paulomi.
Hi, good evening. I'm so happy to be back once again.
Right. So we are very excited to know which interesting book have you brought today for Guinea and every other child to read.
Okay, so it is indeed once again. Let me first show the book, My Day with the Clouds. It's a little unusual book. It's published by Eklavya, but the original book is from Iran. So it's a commissioned, or rather a syndicated project where Eklavya has published the Indian version of it. Um, the story and illustrations is by Hoda Haddadi. I think somebody should check out her work. She's fabulous. I mean, she is almost lyrical in her illustrations. And if you look at the styles, they are very different. You know how she has used watercolors most of the time and stuff. But saying so, what the book is all about. So it starts very nicely about this young girl um, who wakes up in the morning and is waiting eagerly for snowfall. I mean, those parts of Iran, Tehran, we have snowfall, right? It's a story from Persia. And it starts like I will read one paragraph and you'll understand how beautifully it is said. I rolled over on my bed and I looked out of the window. It was no ordinary morning outside. The sky was all violet and crimson. The clouds were dancing to the tune of the harmonica, slowly opening and closing their big skirts as they danced and blended into each other. But then the man playing the harmonica walked away and the clouds stopped their dance. So I think when your narrative is as visual, right, as the visuals are, the story becomes something else, right? I think as I keep on telling, I think last week also I mentioned that most of the time we want to hear stories which are very action, right? This happened, that happened. It doesn't have the stillness which is also required in us. Like in Hindi, there is this ठहराव na. Like I want to stay with this page. I still don't want to move on. And like in school and everywhere else, if you see in kindergartens, they have something called the quiet time. Now, the quiet time should ideally not be a convenience of the teacher, right? That now I can't handle it. It's also to lead the child to having that stillness and that quietness within, to observe things outside, to absorb, right? And to be patient and to stop and pause, right? Because it's needed. And the older we grow, we understand that why it needed to be taught and learned. Because every time we are asked to do, like the pause, like from this box to another box, if there is a vacant, we cannot really handle that. It happens with me, Shweta, to be very honest. Like I am always so much in rush to do that often when I don't have anything I will say, oh, now what? And I'm very, very frank, and that's precisely the reason I think as a parent, books like this make me think in a very different way, that not every time things needs to happen, that I need to rush to the next page. I can stay with one. And and it also pushes the child to imagine that what it would be when the clouds are flapping their skirts and they are moving, and it's so lyrical in a way. Like as an adult, I'm over processing it, but the child doesn't. They listen to it and they immediately visualize. Um, and like different things, the flowers on the tablecloth brightened up, the broom did a little jig, the boiling milk rose to the top of the pot and peeped out from the brim. I think it also instills you to look at things in a very different way. The language comes and it goes on. So the friends come and they keep on playing. The mother helps her to put on the jacket. But in this entire milieu, you will never see the face of the mother as is. It's only the last two pages I want to read. So this is where we see the children playing and someone looking outside, right? From behind, from the window. There was a lot of snow in our courtyard. My friend and I ran in there in our warm new jackets and played snowball. Mother watched us from the window and smiled. She too wanted to run, but she had forgotten how to because she had not run for a very long time. So this is so layered a book, right? And And I know you'll ask the questions, but I'm telling you beforehand, with my daughter, I particularly stayed there. But why do you think the mother did not run, right? And she very clearly said, because she did not run. Like when we go to Kaban Park, you sit and you play, you read a book. I run around, right? Of course, this is a much more, layered, gendered meaning about the socio-political conditions of the place and all. But then I think it also points to us that when we grow up, when we become parent, how much of the child still remains with us at the end of the day, and how we also create that what we will do and what the children will do. So I think it's a once again a little different book. It takes you to be very patient to stay with it, and I wouldn't say to take it like very seriously, but at least to stay with the pages and see what happens, what are the questions which are coming, how it is doing, and to have that stillness in reading sometimes. In fact, like
Right.
all are not adventures. Adventures can
Yeah,
also
yeah,
be with
and
the birds, right?
also to gaze at things like from the child's perspective, like how
Yeah,
child visualizes, how we
absolutely,
visualizes, so all those
absolutely.
things. And of course, your the comment about running and not running, that reminded me, how like as parents, even for our son,
Mm.
he runs a lot, so obviously
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can never think of matching his pace.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Right, yeah.
yeah,
So
I think that's what most kids must be thinking about their
yeah,
parents.
yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
bhagte kyun
What?
nahi hai?
Yeah. What is the big deal? I mean, they are so impaired actually that they are such lazy people. They don't have energy because children have too much of energy, right? Every time, like till the time, even on like night lights off, and then also they will keep on saying, "Okay, listen, I have forgotten that toy. I need to go and get." And then it will take another 5 minutes to close that entire chore and stuff like that. So I think
Right.
both are very different kinds. I mean, this is a very different kind of book. Usually, we always read about adventure stories, etc. I just feel that children need to be exposed to all kinds of stories in the first place, and stories which will open them up more to see and view and think mostly. I think what also happens most of the time, we don't we don't want them to think much. We want them to also follow our cues, and that gives a big high as a storyteller most of the time. But no, right? I mean, they have their own perceptions, own views. How
Yeah.
can we inspire and influence? That is also a thing.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Like when me and my son are reading stories, we are more often than not looking at different things. Like I'm
Mm.
pointing at a different thing and he says, "Look
Yeah,
at that."
yeah, yeah.
So we're always reading like story in a different way as he wants to read it, no
Yeah.
matter where I want to take it. So thank you so much, Paulomi, for bringing this book and raising so many points. And I hope
Mhm.
when people read it with their kids, they're also able to look at a few layers that you've pointed out. Let's see if
Yeah.
other people can also. But as you've
And
cautioned, don't take it too seriously also. But
yeah,
yeah, have a
yeah.
look.
But also staying with one book is
Yeah,
also very important, because
yeah,
sometimes we are in such a mad rush. Ke, acha, abhi, we have completed 4 books and we will do the fifth. It doesn't, because
yeah,
children don't move over. For them, every book is an experience. They want to stay with it for a very,
yeah,
very long time. We don't even notice the details they do. Bapre, I
yeah.
mean, that's a different thing.
All right.
All right, it
Okay.
was so
Thank
good.
you, Paulomi.
And next
Yeah,
week, we'll come back next week with more
great.
books. Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye.